everybody, it's BB. Today I'm going to talk about the Phillips Dream Station and its recall. Okay, well, apparently this particular CPAP, bi-level CPAP, and the respirator CPAP have been recalled. That's by Phillips. We're going to go through everything and let you know about it and give you the website to check. If you happen to be a CPAP user and yours is through Phillips, okay, when you go to fill the information out, you're going to need your serial number, which is this side of the CPAP, not this side. Okay, but we'll go over that as we get to that. All right, apparently on June 14th of this year, 2021, Phillips issued a recall notification for the United States for specific affected ventilation and sleep apnea devices. Okay, the notification informs patients, users, and customers of potential impacts on patients' health and clinical use related to the issues. All right. Again, when we're all done, we're going to put the description for you guys if you do have a CPAP to see if you may have one that is affected. Now, I was not notified in June. Do you know when I got notified? Yesterday. Through my mother-in-law. Cameraman goes over there because his mama calls him. And she's like, did Bonnie get her notification on her CPAP? Anthony goes, I don't think so. Why? Well, our CPAP has been recalled. Well, at first he thought she was joking until she handed it to him. No, it was no joke. Okay. Recall stats update. 250,000 registered so far. Okay. All right. The foam degradation and chemical emissions update. There is something that is in here, okay, that is made of foam. And it's degrading, and as it degrades, it can give off a chemical emissions, and we could possibly be breathing it in. And we're going to go over that as well too, folks. Okay. Phillips has received complaints regarding the presence of black debris, particles within the air path circuit. That would be this, your hose. Okay. Extending from device unit, including the humidifier, tubing, and the mask, which I have seen that every once in a while, and I just figured it was me slobbering on myself. Additionally, Phillips has received several reports of headaches, upper airway irritations, cough, chest pressure, and sinus infections. Now, I have been suffering with headaches. Anyway, upper airway passage irritations, which I have been, coughing, and pressure in my chest, right in there. Okay. All right. There has been no patient death reported to date. Thank God. Phillips acknowledges that the low impact rate may not fully reflect the probability, frequency, or severity of the occurrence, because users may not detect the particles and or report the event to Phillips. Well, no, we're reporting them to our doctor. We're not reporting them to Phillips. All right, the foam degradation. Despite the low pack rate of 0.03%, 3 in 10,000 in 2020. Phillips has determined from user reports and lab testing that the PE/PUR foam may slowly degrade through the process called hydrolysis. The procedure particulates which may enter the device air path where they could be ingested or inhaled by the user of the impacted continuously positive air pressure, CPAP, a bilevel positive airway pressure, a bilevel CPAP, and mechanical ventilator devices. Okay. The foam degradation may be accelerated by environmental conditions of high temperatures and humidity. Unauthorized cleaning methods such as ozone cleaning may exacerbate potential its deterioration. So those of us that use the SoClean machine because we want ourselves sterilized, that is ozone. So that could be breaking it down even faster for our machines. All right. The sound abatement foam is an open cell PE/PUR foam that is widely used for surround dampening purposes in many industries, like soundproofing rooms and stuff like that. According to a research study reported in the literature, the degradation by products of the PE/PUR foam after a humid aging experiment were found to include dimethylglycine, DEG, toluenes, diamine isomers, which is TDA, and toluenes. I have no idea how to even say that one. Isomers, TDI. Okay. Got a whole lot of chemicals going on right there. Based on the test data and information available to date, Phillips believed that most degraded foam particles are too big to be deeply inhaled. According to analysis performed by Phillips, the majority of the particles are the size of greater than 8 UM that are unlikely to penetrate into a deep lung tissue. Smaller particles, 1 to 3 UMs, are capable of diffusing into deep lung tissue and depositing into your lungs. During testing performed by an outside laboratory on lab degraded foam, the smallest particle size identified was 2.69 UMs. So that's still pretty small, but big enough to kill you. For effective mechanical ventilator devices, procedures to the particular hazard, not chemical emissions, may be migrated through the use of a bacteria filter. Labeling recommendations that a mainline outlet bacteria filter be used on triology devices whenever the device is used for evasive therapy, or if the ventilator may be used on multiple patients. Filter testing indicated 99.97 effectiveness of an inert test with particular sizes of 0.3 UM or greater. Based on the available information to date on estimated particle size range, the bacteria filter is expected to efficiently filter out some of the foam particles that could make its way up to the patient's circuit. Potential hazards that seem from the emitted compounds have not been fully toxicologized, characterized yet. Great. Out of an abundance of caution, Philip has concerned the following possible risk for a reasonable worst case scenario: headaches, dizziness, irritation, eyes, nose, respiratory tract and skin, hypersensitivity, nausea and vomiting, and possibly toxic and carcinogenic effects. I don't know what the last one is. I'll have to look it up. The compounds may cause irritation and airway inflammation, and this may be particularly important for patients with underlying lung disease or reduced cardiopulmonary reserve. That means people with lung issues. Today, Philip has received no reports regarding the patient impact related to chemical emissions. Philip acknowledges that this may not fully reflect the severity or probability of occurrence because users may not detect the chemicals or report the event to Philips. Well, no, we're reporting them to our doctors. We don't get sick and call Philips up because we have a CPAP. It just don't work like that, people. The information in this document is based on the test data and information available to data and concerns a reasonable worst case scenario. Further testing that is ongoing will help Philips better estimate the reasonable worst case probability of the health risk related to the two identified PE/PUR, sound abatement foam issues. Notes of reference. 1. 486 foam-related complaints in 2020 for 1.56 million devices shipped in that year, representing a complaint rate of 0.03. Well, I guess that's where they're getting their 0.03 from. Philip is recommending that customers and patients do not use ozone-related cleaning products. Okay. But then how do I know my machine is clean from inside to out? Okay. 3. I don't even know how to say this. It's LATTUATI. I don't know. Assessment of the degradation of polyurethane foam after artificial and natural aging by used paralysis gas, chromography and mass prospectomy and headspace, solid phase gas. Okay. 4. Testing was done on part number 342077. Number 5 is Whaley MI. I guess these are a bunch of the doctors that's done test or lab technicians. I don't know. Okay. I don't want to know about a rat colon. Okay. 6. Screening assessment for the challenging penal. Okay. Chemical abstract, service registry number, Environmental Canada, Health Canada in July. So there's a lot going on here, but I can tell you right now, you better make a machine that I can use my SoClean to, because I want my machine clean. This is why people buy that machine, is because this stuff is plastic. That's rubber. This is plastic. Plastic that heats up. Bacteria gets in here, and not just plain soap and water is going to do the trick. I don't care how, I mean, if it's really super hot, yeah, I mean, I've done mine super, super hot. And then we have this little issue with this. Okay. This, you cannot clean with soap and water, because if you get this little filter in there wet and it doesn't dry properly, guess what? Your mask is going to leak. So, y'all better come up with something, because I'm not going to keep breathing in bacteria and then still wind up with a sinus infection, a respiratory infection, a lung infection. I mean, that's the whole purpose of the So Clean machine. Ozone, I will tell you right now, is in bottled water. I don't care what bottled water you get. There's so much ozone put into that water to make sure that there's no bacteria in that water. And the reason I know that is because my ex-husband works for a water bottling company, and they have done it for the very longest time. No effects from that. So we're all drinking ozone every time we pop open a bottle, unless it is San Pellegrino or maybe a bottle of Perrier. Okay, so I'm going to put in the website where you guys can go for the ones of you that do have a CPAP, whether it's a bi-level CPAP like mine, or a regular CPAP that's made by Phillips. When you go to fill it out, it's going to ask you for the serial number on your CPAP. And as soon as you put it in and you hit submit, it's going to spit back whether your machine is affected or it's not affected. Mine is. So just remember your serial number to your CPAP, power button, serial number. This serial number here is for this part of the machine. Okay? So don't worry about this part where the water tank goes. You only worry about the front. Now, I will tell you, as I was telling cameraman today, there have been nights to where I wake up and I'm smelling strong ammonia. Kind of like, you know, when you had kids and they pee-peed and they took their diaper off and decided to run around the house naked, and you're like, good Lord, what is that smell? That strong ammonia. Or you've just opened up an ammonia bottle. It's been that strong. And I've noticed that on days that it's been like that I don't care what I do with this mask, it leaks like crazy. I cannot get it to seal on my face. Okay? This thing is everywhere. And to make sure that I've got it good and tight, I also wear a washcloth on the top. Take these off. So, see, like right now, it looks like it's loose. I'll be right back. Okay, so here's my washcloth. I put it on my head. Now, it's not going anywhere. It's tied up here. Whoops. Oh, bad boy slid back too far. Okay. Much better. Yeah, much tighter. So as you can see, this thing is not going anywhere. Okay? But on the nights I could smell that ammonia, I don't care what I did. This thing was leaking like crazy. It was leaking through here, and it was leaking through here. And anybody that wears a CPAP will tell you, when this little device here, which is like a filter, well, it is a filter, this thing starts to get clogged, cameraman will tell you, you ain't sleeping. Because it just sounds like one bad bird snoring all night long. Yeah, I'm sorry, snake. So, with that in mind, so if you stop and think back, and there has been times that I've gone to clean this out and I have found like black soot, like little black particles are in here, or something floating on the water. And I do my own distilled water, so I know there's nothing in that water. And never really thought too much about it, other than, well, maybe I left the lid open too long and dust got in it. So maybe that wasn't the issue. I did notice that I was going through a lot of filters. These filters and these filters. Now these are washable. And then you let them dry, you put them back on, and you go on your little happy merry way. But it got to where I couldn't get them cleaned good enough. So what did BB do? I went to Amazon.com and bought them because I want to make sure I don't get sick. One, because I already have asthma. And you guys already know I smoke. And even though I do smoke, I still try to keep myself as healthy as possible. Right now, BB's in the midst of trying to quit. But this, get a hold of the company, see if you are affected. If you are, fill out the rest of the information that they need from you. And then tomorrow, or your earliest availability, call your doctor, your pulmonary doctor, or your general health doctor, if that's who you're going through to get this done. Some of us are, some of us aren't. So, main thing is, call your doctor, let them know that your machine has been recalled. First thing my office asked was, do you use a SoClean machine? And I said, yes, ma'am. She goes, okay. And she's like, well, and I said, listen, I got a hold of Phillips. Phillips already got a hold of me. They told me not to use it. So I'm not using it until they send me out another one. So do not be surprised if they tell you, well, you know, the severity isn't that bad. If you don't use the CPAP, there's a chance you could have a stroke or a heart attack. And there's also a chance very good chance I could wind up in hospital and them telling me I have COVID. I'll take my chances. Thank you very much. So, with all of that, for your lovely little brains, y'all have any questions, please put them down in the comment box. Again, I am going to put the website down in this description, where you can look to see if your CPAP machine or bi-level CPAP is affected. If I were you guys, I wouldn't waste any time. I wouldn't play around with this, because again, they don't know all of everything that this thing could possibly be causing us. They're saying lung infection, sinus infections, dry eyes and nose and throat, but what about the long-term effect? So do your job, check into it, and go from there. I hope this helps everybody who may have a CPAP and is a CPAP user. Again, if you have any questions, please put them down in the comment box. Feel free to ask any questions. If you don't want to leave it in the YouTube comment, you can always leave it at the Yahoo email at bbsadventures@yahoo.com. Again, I'll be more than happy to answer any of your questions. And if I get any more information about this, I will surely let you guys know. I wish they would have put this on the news, because I sure didn't. So I could still be using this and causing more harm than good, which kind of makes me mad a bit. So until then, guys, take care and see ya.